today's lesson, we will be learning some more specifics about formatting in Google Docs. We will learn how to select font type, size, how to bold, make font italic or underlined. We will be able to insert and resize a photo. We will learn the joy of the tab key. It's very useful for indenting paragraphs, whether just the first line or the whole paragraph, and how to justify paragraphs. That is an alignment thing. For this demo, I am using an excerpt from the book Dracula by Bram Stoker. This book is in public domain now. That means it's no longer in copyright. It's too old. One of the first things you might want to do is change the font. So to change the font, I can select whatever font I want, and then go up and click the font box. And as you can see, it gives you an example of what each font will look like. In this case, I want Times New Roman. I can change the size of the font by clicking on the font size box next to it. The larger the number, the bigger the font. I can also change text to be bolded, which will make it appear to be larger, italicized, which will make the text lean towards the right, or underlined. In this case, since I am using a book, it is supposed to be underlined. I also want this text to be in the middle. I can select whether text is left justified, center, or right justified with these boxes here. So left align or left justified is the default. If I want it to be centered, I hit this center align. If I want it to the right, I hit right align. I'm also going to make my title bold, so it will stand out. Now I need to format a whole bunch of text to make it a little more legible. It's difficult to read. So I'm going to select the text I want to change. I'm going to go up to my font, and I want Times New Roman. And I want a little bit of a larger font so it's easier to read. So I'm going to do 12. As you can see, the text is now taking up a little bit more space. But it's still kind of tough to tell where one paragraph starts and another one ends. So for that, I'm going to use the tab key. I click at the beginning of the line, and I hit tab. And it moves over the right amount. We don't want to use the space bar a whole bunch of times. We want to use the tab key. So, beginning of each paragraph, I'm going to hit the tab key. All right. Now you can also indent whole paragraphs. If I wanted this quote to be indented, I select everything I want indented, and then I hit tab. It's a little more dramatic if we choose a paragraph like this. We can indent it, and if we hit justify, we can see what that does. See, watch the right side of this page as I hit justify versus left align. With left align, the extra bit of line that the next word can't fit in is left blank. When I hit justify, it tries to pull that paragraph out, making it stand out. I'm going to use the back key because I don't really want that whole paragraph. if we try using justify on a line that's not really big enough for it, like this, you can see left align, justify, left align, justify. It's not making a difference because this really isn't long enough to stretch out. Now, if I want to insert a photograph, I can go over to Insert, Image. I've got some options here. I can upload from my computer. I can search the web. Perhaps I have an image on my drive already or in my Google Photos, or I could take one now. I'm going to look up Dracula. Ah, this is the Dracula I think of. I can insert this image by dragging it onto my document. Now this image is a bit larger than I think I need. I want to click one of these corner boxes and use that to resize the image. Now, doesn't matter how I drag, the image will always be in the same ratio of length to width, or length to height. If I click on the side box, I can distort my image, and that doesn't look very good. I'm going to use the back button to undo that. I want this image to be centered. Just like with text, I can say left align, center align, or right align. I'm going to do center align. When you've clicked on an image, there's a few options that pop up. There's one that says inline, one that says wrap text, and one that says break text. The reason for this is it changes how the text interacts with where you put the photo. If I click wrap text, you can see it tries to wrap the text around it. You might have seen something like this in the newspaper. This makes it very easy to place the picture kind of wherever you want it. Now, if you click break text, it won't try and have the photo be on the same line as text. Where inline, it will insert it wherever you drop it, in the middle of that line. Because I have this on its own line, it doesn't really matter whether I do inline or break text. But I do want it centered. One more thing that is useful is being able to double space your lines. At some point, you may be writing a paper and the format will require you to have a double space line. What does that mean? If we go up to Format, Line Spacing, right now our line spacing is at 1.50. If I click double, see how this paragraph expanded? It put more space between each line without something like hitting enter a bunch of times. If I want to apply this to all my text, I select everything that I wanted. Then I say line spacing. I say double. Now this text is much easier to read.